everyone. Oh, this prick. Hello and welcome to Scriptonite Reacts. I'm Scriptonite. Today we're going to be watching Season 5, Episode 6 of The Expanse, and this episode is called Tribes. Appropriate. Last episode was an absolute doozy. We got very nearly blown to pieces on the Rocinante. I think it's fair to say that Naomi was pretty much the MVP of last episode, although Alex in a hot second place, but we'll get to that. So basically, Naomi had picked up from several conversations that she'd had. Firstly, it wasn't Marco's plan that she survived, that Philip did that on his own volition. Then we keep getting references to kind of why he did that, and she's starting to kind of put these pieces together, which is great for her because I fucking wasn't. The scene where Naomi attempts to kill Marco, she's like going towards him with the, she's got the screwdriver or whatever it is in her hand. They showed a shot of her pulling it back under her sleeve when Philip comes in and, gets her out of there sharpish. I saw that as Philip hiding the weapon. So I felt like this was like an epiphany reveal moment of like, oh look, Philip does know what's going on. And he's kind of trying to protect her, so that he was like actively intervening in what he knew to be an assassination attempt on his father, to just sort of protect her. So I completely misread that scene, which then meant everything after it I was misreading too, literally until the Rosie was about to blow up. So all of that aside, Naomi was on her game. She was picking up those clues, and the moment she realised what was going on, and the thing is, the show had given us clues, because we'd already seen that memorial to the Augustine Gomorrah, like things had been raised, and sort of on the one hand you put that down to, well, we're in that terrain again, and we're moving more deeply into Naomi and Marco's relationship and their history, so of course we're going to see this stuff. But actually I guess it was like these little Easter eggs, to say, hey, this can have a remember this thing that happened with the code and the reactor. So that was fantastic, and I'm almost glad that I misread it, only in the sense that then when it did hit the realization, I didn't have time to be like, you sometimes get to the point where you're like, this is not going to happen, like this can't happen, there's got to be something, so I'd have been sort of thinking, oh, Naomi will get a message to him or something like that. But as it was like, it was happening. By the time I'd realised what was happening, it was happening. So I just was terrified, because I really did think, oh my God, that's it, we're done. I didn't get a chance to kind of get to logical about it. It was just pure panic. So yeah, I'm not very often happy that I misread things, but that one I was kind of like, oh, that's cool, because it actually made me probably a lot more tense than I would have been even otherwise. So that's that. The Rossies now moored at Tycho and stuck there until they can remove that code and make sure that they can depart safely. It was really interesting to see Sako's reaction when she realised that, because for her, when they were leaving that room, they were dead. And so was she, because if the Rosie blew up while, Dr. Tycho's probably going with it. And you sort of see this sort of look of, I guess, sort of sadness, fear, that whole combination of I'm going to die wash over her, and then her resolve hardens again and she's just sort of spiteful, which, it goes to tell you just how deep, this stuff runs. And we can't blame all of this on Marco. Marco would have no grounds on which to build his empire if Belters were not so oppressed for real, and mistreated and abused and murdered and holocausted and all sorts. So it's important for me to remind myself, especially when I'm this angry, of just what these people are actually living through and have lived through, and how even if there are nice individual earthers on the edge of it, well, none of them are stopping any of this. They're all kind of complicit in a way. Probably the easiest one next to cover off would be Amos and Clarissa. I loved that whole sequence coming out of the prison. I loved the prison guards. They were hilarious. Like the whole energy of their scenes kind of provided a sort of comedic relief against the backdrop of actually a quite emotionally intense episode. But, you know, even that wasn't without its emotion in itself. And as I'd hoped, we now not only have Amos and Clarissa together, but they are in the wind. You know, they've managed to escape the prison amidst all of this. They're both alive. Very interested to see where they go now. I don't really love the fact that we have these two on Earth at the moment. I don't want any character I love to be on Earth at the moment, because I'm pretty sure things are going to go very, very badly on Earth. The impact is one thing, but the wider repercussions of that impact are going to be quite something else. We've already seen the planet's dealing with climate crisis. I don't even want to think about how much all of the dust and everything else that's going to be caused from that is going to impact on that. I'm guessing, you know, that the resources were already at their fucking limit. We lost Ganymede. Earth is in a very precarious situation already. And you think, where the hell else, you know, how are they going to feed people? How are they going to have enough water? We were constantly hearing last episode about, you know, communications networks are down, power grids are down, just is chaos. And that's before you even get to people losing it amidst all of this. So yeah, not good. I don't want to lose Clarissa and I don't want to lose Amos. Obviously, if it's one or the other, I'm going to pick Amos to survive it. But you guys know I'm actually quite bonded to Clarissa because I hated her so much. So that arc of hers was a really big one for me in the series, that she went from where she was to where she ended up, you know, at the sort of back end of season 3 with the, you know, stopping Ashford from making a very, very big mistake and saving humanity in the course of it. And then she's, you know, her reward is prison forever. And I know she deserved, like, she'd done some really bad shit up until that point, but there's something redemptive for me about, it wasn't just what she did, it was why she did it. You know, it's seeing Jim having that conversation with Naomi in prison, you know, when they were in shared cells in the cattle sheds. You know, it's stuff like that. I've really, her character really sticks with me. So, you know, I do want the best for her. And you know, there are still a lot of characters we care about on Earth that we have not heard from or about yet. So, of course we left Alex and Bobby floating off into the distance at the end of last episode, having ditched the core drive of the Razorback, which was the only way basically that they could escape the Barkeith and the other ships, because they'd realised that they weren't Martian crews on the frigates. Essentially the Barkeith was escorting Martian ships that were occupied by Belters. So they're being kind of chased by these Belters in Martian ships. And, you know, they're feeling quite confident because they're like, well, we can hold a 5G burn longer than Belters can because of the, you know, the differences in the Martian physiology. But what actually ends up happening is the Belters are fully aware of this fact and so are not willing to play that game and instead fire on the Razorback, which of course has no defences whatsoever. It's just it's a racing ship. Alex once again comes in clutch with just the most incredible last-ditch Hail Mary freaking idea, where he just is like, okay, well, I've got one last plan. And what he does is ditches the core, and so the torpedoes have locked onto that, so then the torpedoes hit the core, they explode, kind of creating an energy wave, and that propels the Razorback off into space. not to be seen by anybody. So how are they going to get picked up? What the fuck's going on? But there's a side, you know, aside from the dramatics of that scene, we got a lot of information here about the scale of the cooperation now between Belters and elements of Mars, because Belters are now whizzing around in Martian ships, and obviously we knew that because we know that the ship Marco is on is a Martian ship. How do we know that? Because we're used to the Roci, so we know what all the food is and everything else, and they're making references to not liking the food because all of that jazz, and it looks like the Roci. We can see the Martian design of the ship, but we're now at the point where they've got frigates. You know, that there's a whole network going on here. What is happening? And Salvatore, of course, again, we go back to his speech about, you know, it was almost like the 1,000-Year Reich kind of speech of, you know, Mars infinite rather than Mars finite. Well, Marco is apparently the one who's going to be in control of the ring gates, so it would make sense to have done a deal to make sure that there's cooperation and that Mars extends beyond the planet and actually just leaving Earth behind. That's, you know, that's a plan. But I still am not sure about Salvatore. I don't really fully understand his motives. We have not had enough time with the character at all to make these kind of suppositions yet. This is all speculation, zero theory. I don't have a theory, except that obviously Babbage knows, and I did think that was the case, but we don't yet know about Salvatore. So that's all going on over there. What are they planning? Because we know they're going to do more. And then, of course, we do have, you know, the kind of Marco, Naomi, Philip situation, which is fascinating because Philip, the plan here, Naomi would be dead now. They would be dead and the Roci would be exploded without Philip and Naomi. Because that was Marco's plan. That would all have gone as it was, except Philip defied that plan and how he saved his mother's life. And that in turn meant that Naomi could save everyone else's lives by feeding the information back. So not like they deliberately did it, but actually Philip and Naomi together have saved Tycho, they've saved the Roci, they've probably saved tens of thousands of lives. This is a really big deal. I think part of what took me a while also to get that is my prejudice towards Marco, because I was so convinced that the way this was going to pan out was Marco wanted Naomi back in his sphere of control and all of that stuff. But it was like so much darker than that, actually. I was almost too generous to Marco, because he's already in his world, she serves no purpose. And he just wanted her dead. And that he would give her an ironic death as well. You know, to kill her with the method that he'd used to kill all of those civilians in her name. That's some dark shit. That's some really... I mean, Marco is a real... You know, this is... I think I'm like, I can't hold this character in any more contempt. And then you're like, ooh, you fucker. Brilliant to watch, though. Absolutely brilliant to watch. And that man, he's too pretty. The man playing him is just like, it's very, I think it's almost worse if you're slightly attracted to a really evil character, because then you're like twisty in your seat. So yeah, I am absolutely loving this season. The pacing is crazy. It feels like a, you know, kind of hold on to your hat season again. Yep, I think that's it for now. So without further ado, let's have at it. Fuck.
Arjun.
God.
I'm the new acting Secretary General.
What?
Sir.
No, please don't get up. Oh. It's my first time off planet, I'm embarrassed to say.
You'll get the hang of it soon enough.
I was at the seawall near the UN with a 6th grade field trip when the second rock hit. From the air, I saw half of Midtown underwater.
I've seen the images.
Oh God, the seawall one.
Oh my God, yes, of course, your family.
My daughter and her children are fine. They're on a shuttle now. They'll be here soon.
Thank God. Your husband teaches at Columbia, doesn't he? Have you heard from him?
Dude, read the room.
I will pull whatever strings I can.
They're ready for you in the sit room, sir.
Thank you.
You could do with an Avasarala, mate.
I'd like you to join my provisional cabinet. Please.
Oh my God.
Of course.
As what? Deputy again? Like Aaron Wright's position? Back where you belong, my queen. Back where you belong. Oh, look. She's putting on her... I love you. I love her. Look at that necklace. Oh, God. I would give it anything for an Avasarala outfit. You're amazing. Right, now Luna looking back at Earth. Earth is wounded. Shit. I hope this is not where Clarissa and Amos are, because they are not going to last long. I didn't think they were even in jumpers.
If you are injured or in need of medical attention, please
Oh, God.
There might be something at the aid station.
There's police there.
Yeah, let's not get busted again.
I don't want to go back to prison.
Oh, there's no prison to go back to. They'll probably just shoot you.
I don't want that either.
In that case, I'm thinking our best bet's Baltimore. I know some people there.
Yeah, but that guy said he'd kill you.
It's a long way. You up for that?
They're going to walk to Baltimore.
I'll make it.
Jesus fucking Christ. You are a couple of hardcore bastards. But what about Eric? Well, I guess bigger fish. But seriously, what about Eric? So mad that they nearly took out the Rosie.
Where should I stow this?
Oh, no fucking
Okay,
way.
then.
Monica, this is a military operation.
You know, when we find these pricks, the ride's gonna get a little rough. You ever been in high-G maneuvers before?
On this ship. When we were the first people to go through the ring and survive.
We are go. Oh, God. Razorback? Yep. Someone please pick up our people. Oh no! Are they just gonna think he's dead? Fuck. Bobby better be in a power suit in there ready to blow these pricks sky high. And then they can take that ship. Come on then, you twats. You did. Yes! Yes! Fuck you! Yes! Oh, fuck off. Oh, shit. Get back!
Alex is trying to push off Paris.
Bobby, that was sloppy. Granted, it's an older suit than she's used to, so I'm going to cut her some slack. Oh, fuck.
Grenade is set!
Oh, shit.
Alex, I couldn't hold him. I'm back.
Alex?
I'm coming!
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit! Oh, Jesus Christ.
Get your ass inside now.
Yes, quite in. I've never seen Alex do anything like this before. That was a big leap for him.
Emergency startup. Go!
Wow! Oh!
We did it! Suck on
Yes!
that, motherfuckers!
Oh my god.
And so instead of a grand symbol of inner Belter unity destroyed along with half of Tycho, the Rocinante is underway in pursuit of the Zemea.
Sorry, it's my fault. Should have never let Naomi near come.
She never should have been here in the first place.
I'm sorry I brought her.
Space her.
Excuse me?
What? You heard me. Stop apologizing and correct your error and put her outside.
Marco.
We treated her. Nearly did
Never have to see her again, I
You
swear.
will do what I tell you to.
Doing yourself!
Wow.
I'm not gonna let Philip be part of this. Unless you think you can make me, hmm?
He's gonna kill
Maybe I
him.
finally got old enough, huh?
Philip, the choice was yours to make. What would it be?
Spare her life. Please.
Or he is gonna lose it.
My son has a kind heart.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, The Miz is the new WWE Champion!
Pause. So, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but Marco's little outfit has a little badge on the side that says Icarus. And if you know the myth of Icarus, that prick's flying too close to the sun. His little wings are about to go up in flames. Play.
Next time, ask me.
You bitch.
You deserve to die for what you did. You think that's funny?
No. But I can tell my people are all right.
Your people. He took the belt back from the
He
inners.
made you a murderer. You ended millions of ordinary lives.
He loves
He
me.
loves himself.
But you don't know anything about him.
I know he wouldn't die for you. But he would let you die for him.
Yeah. Truth. That's a bar. Wow. Wow, wow. Naomi, you're doing God's work. Oh, fuck this. I'm not kidding, it's a bit nippy out. We've had some snow, and I'm like, these are not my conditions, but I think it's beautiful, by the way. But I'm thinking like 3 to 6 hours max is my range in this sort of weather.
Burning through the last of the implant blocking agents, and it's making my muscles cramp.
Oh, what is this shit? I can't wait till that's out of our
No?
system.
No.
I love these two together.
I don't have anything worth taking. Come take a look if you want. Just leave me be.
We're not robbers.
There's a guy that's fenced off a couple acres, and he's offering to shoot anyone who comes too close.
Thank you. We'll keep an eye out.
Hmm.
The thing about civilization is it keeps you civil. Get rid of one, you can't count on the other.
True.
It's like you've done this before.
I grew up like this.
Yeah.
Everyone else is playing catch up. People are tribal. The more settled things are, the bigger the tribes can be. The churn comes and the tribes get small again.
Jesus.
Right now, you and I are a tribe of two.
Better than one.
We'll go this way.
Towards the crazy asshole who's shooting people?
Yep.
Okay, Pollyann Belter fan, what are we doing?
Are you worried?
Contact incoming.
Multiple contacts, separate headings.
They're jamming our comms.
What is happening?
1 MCRN light cruiser. 2
Fuck.
heavy frigate. We've been ambushed.
Connection request on Type B.
To me.
What? The Free Navy welcomes you. Fuck off.
MCRN warships. How could Marco have this?
It's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Welcome to the Bella. Give me your weapon. Your temper precedes you.
Stay alive, because Naomi's here. Shit,
Tributes. They come here in exchange for Anaro Sunder ships.
Okay.
Marco is consolidating support amongst the factions.
Yep.
If Marco has Black Sky and Golden Bar with him,
It's over.
half the OPA will rally to his banner.
They're fucked. I'm worried for everyone. Oh, this prick.
Jama and associates. Thank you for coming.
No throne?
This is a war room.
For a war you started.
For a war I won.
Is it over? I must have missed the Inner's offer of surrender.
What about food? Earth is the only source for live soil and complex biologicals. Belt allowed us still need to eat.
Earth has always used agriculture to control us. There are some facts and figures from Nico Sandrani. You might have heard of him from a little project he was involved in. The Ganymede Ag Domes.
Yep.
There will be thin years at first. But within a decade, the Belt will have the agricultural production levels of Earth. And surpass it. Free of colonial control, we will have no limit. I invite you to join the Free Navy.
Or else.
Or leave. And go in peace. I do not expect me to protect you.
The only reason we need protection is because of you. You have committed the entire Belt to war with the Inners and made peace impossible.
We were already at war. You just couldn't see it because they were killing us slow. Make a decision. And do it quickly. We won't be staying here long.
Is anyone gonna tell her about Naomi? Philip! Wait. Oh, shit.
Looks like they tried to go over the fence. And if anything goes bad, run.
Can it not go bad, please?
Anyone there?
Oh, he's got the gun. The gun has ice on it. Wow.
I'm not disrespecting your property, sir. I got a water recycler. I just need something to hunt food on my way up north.
Throw down your weapons.
I don't have any weapons. That's why I'm here.
Strip then.
Oh, fuck off, it's cold.
You say you don't have any weapons? Stand where you are and strip down.
I'm happy to see
Now
it.
you're clean, we'll talk.
There's nice though. There's nice.
Now, unless you think I got a pistol up my ass, we both can agree I'm on.
But I can go get that cycler myself.
Oh, fuck off.
Don't need you.
I love her. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, man. This is gonna get me.
If he said we can go, I say we go.
Go where? You think the Earthers are going to care whose side we say we're on?
They're gonna have no choice.
There's no choice.
He's right.
He's gonna accomplish what a century of leaders have promised and failed to do. What Anderson does and Fred Johnson could not. And the only choice left for us is to join him or die.
I would join and bide my time. There's no way they can be on their own right now. Because when Earth fights back, it is going to be fucking apocalyptic.
Exchanging crew promotes unity throughout the Free Navy.
He's not crew, he's family.
Let me introduce you to mine. Philip, a good friend of your mother. They were together on the Behemoth before Naomi left her to join her inners.
And by doing so, saved every soul in the system.
I'd like to hear that story.
Oh.
Is there anything you'd like me to tell your mother?
There's no need, I can tell.
Oh!
No. Thank you.
Good to see you.
She knows. She knows. Oh, so close. There's still a person in there.
Tell me about the Behemoth.
Shit.
Tell me, how did you open all the gates?
I played up.
What is his fucking plan this time? I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
Did we win?
This round, you got weapons, food, transportation.
This was a big win. This probably saved their lives. He's so smart.
My clothes?
They had blood and puke on them. I found you some new ones here.
I still can't believe we saw Amos in pants. I'm not over it.
I heard you talking in your sleep. You said something about monsters and being afraid.
It was a thing from prison. Creative writing class. Stupid. Okay. I wrote this little poem. Kind of took it on as a prayer.
How'd it go?
I have killed, but I'm not a killer. Because a killer is a monster. And monsters aren't afraid. I'm afraid all the time. Of the things that I did. How right it felt when I was doing them. How certain I was.
Yeah, you went loopy. Yay!
Why did we come here? Yeah, the guy was a creep, but if he hadn't been, would we have done something different?
We needed supplies.
We went out of our way to murder someone and take his stuff just because we needed it. It's not the kind of thing good people do. Not even bad people trying to live like good ones.
Holden never would have approved a move like that.
Aww.
I need to get back to my crew.
Tell you what, season 2 Holden for bits would have approved that plan. This is going to sound absolutely ridiculous given everything that we've seen in this season so far, but I think that was my favourite episode of the season. Which is insane, because obviously, you know, we've everything that has gone down to this point. But there was so much in this episode that was character development and dialogue and, like, I guess because everything's been so crazy, we haven't really had much time to have people have conversations and really reflect on what's been happening, because that's something you can only do once you've stopped, you've paused for a minute. And there was so much heart in this episode. Like, I came close to crying several times. I was laughing my ass off. I've seen Amos in pants.
Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I've never seen it so hot.
Lord have mercy. Anyway, I cannot get enough of Amos and Clarissa. They are my new power couple. I love them. I love their dialogue with each other. I love their banter. I love the fact that they get each other. They influence each other. They trust each other. They've both, in their own ways, had deeply traumatic childhoods. Even though, you know, Clarissa comes from enormous privilege in terms of wealth. You know, she was raised by a narcissistic father. She never experienced being loved. And that will take an emotional toll on you. And it did. You know, she ended up, you know, everything that happened was really a symptom of the emotional trauma of being raised by a narcissist, where she had to up the ante and up the ante and up the ante in order to fulfill the expectations of her father. And, you know, she killed people. She killed Tilly. I'm not over it. She nearly killed Naomi at one point. Remember, she came whizzing through space. She was like, yeah, I'm going to kill you. So I think it was Anna. Yeah, so if it wasn't for Anna going after her, she would have killed Naomi. So, and then she would have gone after Jim. So she was so bent on revenge. It really warped her into... I mean, I can remember, like, screaming at her at one point. I was like, we don't have time for your shit. You know, Clarissa.
This bitch. No one needs your bullshit, Clarissa. What the fuck? Oh, shit! He's not even there, you stupid bitch.
It was literally like the whole world's about to end, and even inside of all that, she was just like, kill Jim, kill Jim. But then she did finally, when presented with Jim's humanity, she recognised it and she came round. And I have pretty much non-stop loved the character ever since that point. It was like a really quick turn. And I just really, really appreciate her now. I'm so glad we've got her back in the show, because I did feel cheated when she ended up, you know, going off to prison, and all we got was a reference to these few months that they'd been travelling together before she had, you know, ended up in prison, that her and Amos really did get really close. and I felt cheated out of seeing that, and now it's like dream come true. I'm actually getting to see the way these two relate to each other, and it is not letting me down at all. Oh God, honestly, I could have a whole episode just them and I would not even feel cheated right now. Like, we got a lot of them this episode. It was just, I loved it. And that whole scene, this is something I love about this. This is why I know I'm in love with this episode, because it's one of those episodes where I go, this is why I love The Expanse. Like, this episode is why I love The Expanse, for these little moments that they have that should not be funny, but it is deliberate. Like, there is a comedy of timing, and, you know, Amos's vulnerability, totally, you know, we very rarely see Amos physically vulnerable. We see him emotionally vulnerable, but we very rarely see him physically vulnerable. You know, even when he's wounded, you're kind of like, Amos is gonna be fine. So we have him completely naked in the cold. You know, if something goes wrong here and he's left in no clothes in this scenario, he's dead within hours. And this guy's going to shoot him anyway. You know, this whole take your clothes off thing is bollocks. I knew that kid was not there, by the way, just with the ice on the gun, but I'm sure everyone got that. And it was like, the tension builds, and I'm starting to really shit myself. And I was thinking, I hope like Clarissa can come. You know, there's a potential now with the her drugs wearing off, the blocking drugs, that she could do something. and then to see, we've never seen it from that perspective before. So we almost saw it almost like a dream. We often sort of, we're a little ways back and we see the action that she's taken, but this, we were just seeing her face was around. And it was like so chaotic, and you were like, shit, that is like being taken over by a tsunami. That's not a person, you've just been tsunamied to fuck. And then the gun goes off and Amos is just covered with this blood, and it was like being, you know, getting a pie in the face. It was like the murder equivalent of a pie in the face, and it just, like, who wrote, like, can you imagine actually writing this scene? That's what, oh god, I love it. Tell me, is that a scene? Don't tell me if it's a scene from the books, because then people start talking about the books, then we'll get book spoilers. No book spoilers, but I did just want to know, is that a show invention? Is that scene that's in the book? I'm just interested, because sometimes the show does create its own moments that aren't in the book. So yeah, I'm buzzing. So that was absolutely brilliant. The other thing I really loved about this episode was Kamina coming so close to Naomi, but no cigar. She knows now. Kamina left that ship like Naomi is on that ship. We've got a problem. But also, Kamina's got multiple problems, because she's now really, I would have made the same decision. Like, I would be now joining the Free Navy, because there is no other option. And this is the thing I don't think Marco's reckoning on. And I mean, it's different now because they are getting tooled up from Mars. But back in like season 2 or 3, you know, Aaron Wright was saying, we have a military advantage, like in terms of the numbers of ships over Mars now, but that will erode. But when you think that's all of Mars's ships, was not enough to attack Earth. And Marco is going to be able to put up resistance against, you know, the UN Navy when they get back on their feet? Fuck off. I'm telling you, I don't think he's thought this all the way through. I think he's seen it up until a point. But I don't think he's thought this all the way through, because there is gonna be a retribution for this that is gonna be fucking hellfire. Hellfire. Like, I can't even imagine the level of rage on Earth right now. I just can't imagine it, and I think that is, they already, you know, the military people already see Belters as basically scum. They're the untermenschen of this, you know, this universe. And they are going to be, you know, we saw, remember Diogo's uncle? You know, after the fucking, you know, and Martians were already, you know, doing shit to Belters at that point in retaliation, you know, making him so he couldn't go through a safe area, so that meant that his fuel ran out and he'd probably die. Just really treating people like shit. That is going to pale into insignificance in comparison to what the fuck is going to come out of this now with Earth. It is. I wonder if we're going to see any of it this season. We got like 4 episodes left. I think, hang on, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 4 episodes left. Where are we going to go? Oh, back to Amos and Carissa for a moment, because I didn't tape her off. I really love that recognition on her part where she said, wait, this isn't even something that we could describe as good, even though we're not good people. Like, we just flat out directly headed for this man's property, knowing that he had guns, he had supply. Like, we did this, mate. You know, we knew where this was going, and we signed up. And Amos kind of thinks about it and is like, oh shit, yeah, Jim wouldn't have signed off on this mission. So it's just really interesting to see that Amos now has Jim in the same category as Naomi, of someone whose judgment you reflect upon. It's like, what would Jesus do? It's like, what would Naomi do? What would Holden do? And he uses that to create his own moral universe inside so that he can make his own decisions. And I think that's so beautiful. And he clearly feels here that he is becoming unmoored from that newfound, I guess, the civilization. You know, he found civilization on the Rosie. You know, he was able to have his tribe expand beyond him and Naomi to other people, and even to the scale of, you know, the geopolitics and stuff. So he's seeing the dangers of sort of contracting his own civilization again, his own tribe. And so he's like, right, we got to get back to them. The thing is, though, the Rosie's just taken off after the Zemea, so I don't know how this is going to happen. I'm guessing he's going to be able to get back to Avasarala, and somehow that's going to happen. But yeah, brilliant. Just such a fucking good episode. I really, really loved it. I'm really intrigued by the relationship with Naomi and Philip. I can't trust Philip yet, not because of his moral character, but because he's a flying monkey for Marco. And everything he does, I'm thinking twice about it. Of like, you know, when he's sitting there, he bought him a drink and they have a chat. That could be just what it was, but it could also have been a form of interrogation that Marco primed him to do. But what I do sense is real is that there is a resistance in him in letting go of Naomi. And I don't just mean letting her die. I think he is on a level, he really wants her there. And he wants to know who she is and what makes her tick and everything else. And I don't just think that's about scoring information for his dad. I do feel like that's a person in conflict, but I don't know which way it's going to go. And because I'm so precious about Naomi, I'm like, I can't take the risks. But I do, this weird, I'm starting to feel feelings now for Philip, independently of my feelings to Naomi. So like before I would care about Philip because I would care about how Naomi would feel about Philip, but I am actually starting to really feel for Philip. And yeah, it's just tough. And you know, we've also got, of course, the rogue element here is Bobby and Alex, who pulled off a very, very successful maneuver. It got a bit ropey there for a minute, but it all came back together. And basically they did actually manage to turn tables on the Belters in the Martian ship. They were really outplayed by Alex and Bobby in that scenario. And they've got the Razorback on emergency systems and they're off again. So, you know, where are they headed? Again, that's another bit to bring in Avasarala, because I'm guessing the moment they could have already sent it, because they were ready to send those files to Avasarala, which would show the Martians and the Belters in cooperation with each other. So Avasarala is going to have that information, I'm sure, fairly soon. And she is going to be fucking merciless when she gets it. This is really bad for her. I mean, her son was killed by the OPA. It's starting to look a lot like Arjun is killed by the OPA. We don't know yet, so he could just be missing, but I don't have a good feeling. But yeah, I fucking love this episode. As I say, I don't know why, but so far it is actually my favourite episode of the season. I'll probably be in a minority of one, but I really felt the connection this episode. Like, we really got reconnected to people, which we haven't really had a chance to yet, because everyone's separate, everything's up in the air. This one I felt like, okay, now we're going to start to come together again. And it's like that feeling you get when you know, oh shit, they're winding shit up now as we head into the back half of the season, and you feel that like energy change, and that's what I felt in this episode. So I'm just fucking ecstatic with this season across the board, but particularly this episode. Yeah, loved it. So until the next time, bye bye.